Rudolf Schenker formed the band Scorpions in 1965 in Germany as a Merseybeat band. By 1972, they were doing psychedelic rock. Their first album was produced by a guy called Connie Plank, who was quite significant in the krautrock movement. Rudolf's younger brother, Michael Schenker, joined in about 1970, and another vocalist joined. Michael Schenker eventually became the lead guitarist of UFO, who were probably more successful than Scorpions in the long run. In 1974, they broke up when Michael left. A guy called Uli Roth was offered the job of lead guitarist, but he wanted to stay with his band called Dawn Road. So Rudolf joined Dawn Road, and then the other members of Dawn Road persuaded Rudolf to invite Klaus Meine, who was the vocalist from Scorpions, to join Dawn Road. By now, Dawn Road had two people who had been in Scorpions and several other people, but because Scorpions had died the death, they changed their name to Scorpions, and they became the new Scorpions. They then went kind of heavy metal hard rock. They got really famous. They sold lots of records. Towards the end of the 80s, they played in Russia. In 1990, they had a hit with a song called Wind of Change that is perpetually on the radio still, on the rock stations. They went a bit softer for a while. They went backwards and forwards with style quite a bit, and they're still going. And they still contain Rudolf and Klaus, and they've had 19 studio albums so far. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the 6th album by Scorpions. I think I've heard it before. I'm not entirely sure. I would definitely describe this as being hard rock with a few softer songs mixed in. And it's kind of blues-based hard rock. We're kind of we're towards the end of the 70s. We've got the legacy here of bands like Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Kiss, and we're moving into the 80s rock, the hair rock era of Def Leppard, Whitesnake, Guns N' Roses, that sort of thing. This kind of fits in the middle between those two. I mean, in terms of the timing, that's about right. There is one band that they really remind me of that I know quite a bit better than Scorpions, which is a band called UFO. Now, this is presumably not entirely coincidental because UFO feature Michael Schenker, who is the brother of Schenker in Scorpions, and in fact plays on some of the tracks on this album. So mostly these are rock stompers. There's a few ballads, two in particular, Always Somewhere and Holiday. And I can hear the seeds of their big hit Winds of Change in these ballads. It's got that same kind of feel to them. There is one track that's quite unusual on the album, which is There Anyone There? Anybody There? Sorry, let's get the name absolutely right. Which has got a kind of reggae feel to it, but it's still hard rock, so it's hard rock reggae, which is an interesting combination. It's possibly my favourite song on the album as a result. So the songs are about, I didn't really pick up nothing very much, kind of normal rock macho love song stuff. The singing's decent. It's a fairly generic rock voice, so hearing one of these tracks and not knowing who it is, I wouldn't necessarily be able to say, oh, yes, that's Scorpions, because of the voice. I would say, oh, that's one of several bands that have similar voices. It's a decent voice, just not particularly distinctive. So overall, I found it fairly varied. I quite enjoyed it, but felt like, as a rock album, it's quite generic in some ways. So that's what I think. Please tell me what you think. That's it for me for now.